I mean, I know I became a fan by seeing him, but many people will say, I saw him, some friends took me, or some friends insisted that I go, because from his posters, I thought I could imagine it. And I thought it's probably some guy who's, thinks he's dramatic and does some spooky material and maybe reads some Edgar Allan Poe or something. And somebody said, you don't have any idea what you're going to see. He clearly came off Germanic on stage, if not German. I mean, you weren't always aware of this, anything like this as a ranting Nazi character or anything like that.
Oh, that's true.
But he was that part of Europe and probably German or Austrian,
Hmm.
if you want someone even more Nazi. And he, but there wasn't that. The echoes of Dictator were there, and echo of film clips, and the echo of I've seen this kind of raving man before, but you didn't have any sense that you were going and seeing a guy putting on the Nazis or parodying them, or nobody ever said that. I never heard anybody say he's too German for me. He happened to be, but what he did was do a dramatic set of colors and combinations and tones. And I took theater directors that I knew, and I
Oh,
remember
you went
taking
back to read several
the
times.
great Nikos Sakharopoulos that I'd worked for at Williamstown and who was at Yale. And he never moved during it, and he was a genius director. I said, "What are you trying to figure out?" Afterwards, he looked puzzled, and he said, "How he does it? How can he do it?" And at first I thought he meant, how can he go out and embarrass himself or whatever? No, he just couldn't find the key to the possibility of how an individual performer could create this god awful, wonderful Wagnerian sense of danger and thrill. And it was his voice. I'm here to tell you what the answer to this problem is. It was, he couldn't have done, it wouldn't have been half there if it weren't for the fabulous voice. And his use of it was prodigious. I mean, it was like an expert playing an instrument.
Which I assume was genuine as well.
And if his voice had been something like this, it would not quite have been the same evening. You'd have been feeling around for your coat after 10 minutes. And when the lights went up, and there he was, it was goose pimple making. He was so dramatic without having spoken yet. And you began to think, this might be a madman who might be on the brink, and something awful might happen in the next minute. To me, that's almost the essence of good acting and good theater, a sense of danger. Wow, what's going to happen? And on a couple of his tirades, people got scared. They started to laugh, and then they thought, he's over the top. They're going to take him away.
That it was believable, I guess.
Absolutely. He was such a genius performer. And you thought, it's a madman, but in the same sense that you could think Olivier is a madman as Richard III and someone else, and any other great Brando or whatever. He had that absolutely chilling, magnetic, scary sense of danger that makes a great, thrilling performance. But you had to see him in person to get the full impact, as you had to see Lenny Bruce or any great, or Mort Saul. What is in the air between you and them, with nothing in between you, is somehow wonderful with a great. No, and he really was so convincing and so scary and so otherworldly on stage that I think most people were a little afraid of knowing him, even though you might have met him and said hello and so on and so on. It was hard to believe you could turn all of that off.